Hi everyone, we are Adi and Carmel, and we are really excited to be here today and share with you our final project. This project was done in collaboration with Grain, and it's time to thank our mentors, Tomer, Neta, and Shachav. So, now that we all have finished the Y data course and finally we have some spare time in our life, let's book a vacation. So let's look on those amazing deals in ISTA's website. Have you ever wondered how it works behind the scenes? So, apparently that between the hotel and large travel agency like ISTA, there is an agent. This agent purchases in a foreign currency and sells in a local currency. Let's look on a numeric example. So, if room costs $100 and the exchange rate is 3.5, it means that the agent will sell it to ISTA in 350 shekels. This is a B2B transaction, business-to-business transaction. So sometimes the payment is delayed. If the payment will occur 1 month later and the exchange rate will rise to 3.8, it means that now those 350 shekels are worth only $92. But the agent still needs to pay the $100 to the hotel. So the agent has a problem and he needs Grain. Okay, Grain provide foreign exchange hedging solutions. Okay, another problem, free cancellation. So apparently that 70% of the transaction includes the option of free cancellation. Out of them, 50% are actually get cancelled. This is a big risk factor and it influences the product pricing. The company's goal is to make their pricing model more accurate. So Grain already has a model that predicts if a transaction is going to be cancelled or not. Our goal was to predict when it's going to happen. The output should be a PDF. Do you know what is a PDF? And I don't mean the document. Okay, so PDF is a probability distribution function. In our case, it just shows the probability of cancellation at each day. So we received from the company over 577K canceled transactions. Most of them were booked on 2023. For each transaction, we received the booking date, the cancellation date, the last day of reconciliation. We received the currencies that the agent purchases and sells in, and the amount in dollars, and also the country of the agent.
Okay, thanks, Adi. So now that we saw the data, we can share with you some major insights that we've noticed. First of all, we saw that half of all transactions are cancelled within 23 days, and about 10% of them are cancelled within the day of purchase. Next, we plot how many days customers got for free cancellation and in each year. And we saw a major difference between the year 2022 in blue and 2023 in orange. So what exactly happened during 2022? Let me remind you that COVID was still around, and it led to much longer free cancellation policies in the agencies. And because we couldn't overcome this difference, we just decided to drop 2022. Another thing we want to show you is what we call the cancellation rate, which is just the number of days until a transaction got cancelled, divided by the number of days it had for free cancellation. And it ranges between 0, meaning cancellation on the same day of purchase, and 1, meaning cancellation at the very last moment. And you can see those two values really stand out. And it actually serves as an insight of human behavior, right? Because either you're impulsive or you're lazy. So yeah. Another thing we want to show is the dependency upon the weekday. During weekends, there are less purchases and cancellations. We also ask ourselves on what day of the week do companies usually set as the free cancellation date? Apparently, this is the 15th of each month, and this is due to financial reasons. So our data isn't perfect. We have some major issues in that. For example, we have limited data, and the data is really skewed. 10 countries hold only 70% of the data, and about half the companies have 5 or fewer transactions. We only used 2023, a single year, and also in the data we received, the last few months of 2023 were cut off, and therefore we lost seasonality, which is crucial in the travel agency, domain. And therefore, we had to do some extensive feature engineering and create new features out of the raw data we got. So let us share some of the features we created. If we go back to the example ID as shown, this transaction got canceled only one day after purchase, and it had 288 days for free cancellation. Dividing these two numbers, we get a cancellation rate. And we use the insights we showed you before to create new features, such as the weekday of purchase and due date, whether it was a weekend or not, what season it was, and if there was a holiday within 7 days of the due. In this specific case, in Italy, there was the feast of Saints Francis and Catherine. I'm sure everybody heard of this, and whether the due date fell on the 15th of the month or not. Moving to the model, we use tree-based models, which is a really common practice in these kind of problems. If you haven't heard of this, it's just think of a tree with branches and leaves, and in each branch you ask a simple yes or no question, and you move on along the tree until you get an answer from the model in the leaf. And specifically, we used a model named CatBoost, which got us a 46% improvement over the baseline model, and that's despite the fact we had such limited data. So as Adi mentioned, our goal was to provide a probability distribution function over cancellation timing, and this is exactly what we got. Here there's an example of a single transaction out of all the transactions we got, and on the right plot you can see the estimated probability distribution function, where the peak shows the most probable day for cancellation, which is 72 days, and this is exactly what happened in reality. This transaction got cancelled after 72 days. If you're interested in more information, you can check out our poster afterwards. Overall, this project is expected to save for Grains customers about $100K annually. So in conclusion, we built a model that estimated the probability distribution function for cancellation times, and despite the fact we had limited and skewed data, we used some feature engineering, CatBoost model, and improved our results by 46% over the baseline model. Thank you for listening.